Hey guys, this is the Korean Ninja and welcome to the very first episode of Debrief, a series where I pick and choose any topic about Robocraft and give my own thoughts and opinions on them. If you have any ideas that you want me to feature for the next episode, just leave a comment down below, message me, or email us at brushoff2014@gmail.com. Just remember that this is my opinion, so try not to take what I say too seriously, but rather take it into consideration. So the first topic of the day is going to be from the Mr. Happy Face on the Robocraft forum, and he suggests that FreeGem should bring back the night maps and give everybody night visions. In my opinion, I'm all for this idea, and the reason for that is because of how much the game will change in a positive manner. First off, those headlamps that hardly anybody uses in battles are finally going to be helpful. Granted, they do offer some benefits in the daytime by blinding your opponent, but the high CPU cost coupled with the fact that the light effect is diminished because all the maps are in daylight doesn't really justify the means of using those headlamps. With the night maps, now you have a viable hardware on your vehicle that can potentially blind your enemy to the point where they cannot see your vehicle at all. If the night vision mode is included as well, then you will blind your enemy even more because of how sensitive that kind of technology is. Of course, at the same time, the headlamps will have some drawbacks if you were to use them, say, even on the night maps. Flashing your lights and keeping them on at all time is just a perfect way to attract all attentions towards you. Enemies will just see the light and start firing at you, which means they basically gave your position away. The point of the night maps are to offer not only a different aesthetic appeal, but to also change the flow of combat as well. Now you have players who can use stealth to possibly flank the enemy or to just simply evade. The headlamps in some situation will strip that crucial benefit away from the player if he misuses it, so it really does help to balance out this hardware. On balancing out the night maps, FreeGem has released a day and night cycle once during the pre-alpha stage of Robocraft during 2013. However, the cycle is now obviously removed, and I feel the reason why FreeGem did this is because either it wouldn't fit with the time length of the classical Robocraft mode, which usually lasts only 5 minutes, or there's a performance issue and FreeGem didn't have the manpower back then to fix this. Now I feel FreeGem is ready to tackle the night maps once more, but this time I don't think they should implement this feature in our game mode just yet, like classic Robocraft mode or the Protonium Crystal mode. The reason for that is because I feel that the sudden change from daylight to night is just a huge hassle for players who only wish to enjoy daylight only map or even a night only map. Now if this time cycle comes into play with our game mode, some of us who doesn't enjoy nighttime at all would just be frustrated. What I propose is to make the Pit the new free-for-all game mode with infinite life to have this feature instead of the other game modes. This mode is endless and very casual, which is a perfect fit for the day and night cycle to happen. Either way, I really do hope FreeGem reconsiders adding this back into the game as soon as possible. It should be quite interesting if they do. So the next topic is going to be coming from Sanitation from the Robocraft forum, who says that the Megabot should have total priority in robot collisions, meaning that the Megabot cannot be affected at all by lower tier robots, but can still push those robots out of the way. I cannot agree anymore with this idea, and for anybody who plays as a Megabot or has played in tier 10, I bet that most of you have seen a Megabot flipped or get trapped by players at least once. For some reason, players think it's funny to grief other Megabots and just suck and destroy the enjoyment from the game. It's not only bad for the Megabot itself, but it entirely affects everyone on the battlefield as well. Megabots are basically the power players in any tier 10 match, and just losing your Megabot because some person think it will be funny to flip him over or block him is just absurd. The issue just doesn't stop with grieving as well. Sometimes the Megabot will be stopped unintentionally by players who are sitting behind the Megabot and trying to use it as a shield. I can't tell you guys how many times I played the ice map, the one that has a giant cave that both teams can enter and fight in, and see a Megabot trying to back out, but he can't because of how many bots are piling up behind him. At the same time, while I would like to see the Megabots being able to push away any vehicle in its way, the thing that I fear the most is how much damage the Megabot can do with this. My main concern is not that the Megabot will intentionally flip someone over, but it's mainly aims towards how the physics engine will handle this kind of collision. The physics in Robocraft is already messed up in this game. It does get the basic job done right in some situations, but for the most part it is just frustrating to have your bot suddenly breakdance because it hit a wall at a weird angle, or a tiny bot moving at the speed of light flips over anybody who dares to touch it. Now imagine an unstoppable force like the Megabot running over a much tinier vehicle. It will be absolute chaos. chaos. So I feel that Free Gem should give a better collision system for the Megabot, just so they can push through anything, but not too much that they can just catapult a player across the map because they touched the Megabot. As for the problem that the Megabot now has the power to grief his entire team by pushing them off, say, a cliff on the Mars map, I think the issue of players stopping a Megabot is more prominent than a Megabot stopping other players. There are just so many more lower tier vehicles than a tier X1, and that just increases the chance of one of those players being a griever and harassing the Megabot. Our last and final topic comes from Jack733 from the Robocraft forum, who asked something that you guys probably heard a lot of times already, and that is that Free Gem includes a hinge pivot cube to swing parts of your robots around, and a self-destructing cube to detach parts of your vehicle. If I haven't said it already, you guys should know that I am a huge fan when it comes to anything that promotes a variation in vehicle building. I'm not just talking about different weapons and movement types, but also different hardwares as well. Something we haven't seen since the introduction of the now obsolete alignment rectifier that has been removed from the game. I'm not sure how useful a hinge pivot cube will be useful in the game, as the outcome of how players will approach using this new cube is hard to predict, but if anything, I think that this is a great feature to have in the future. As a lot of you guys know already, Free Gem is planning to introduce a lot more game modes and maps in the near future, especially when the new meta changes will be released. So it'll be interesting to see how players will use these pivotal cubes, say for example create shields that revolve in a circle to divide the damage equally and increase defense, and how they will affect the gameplay. But as of right now, however, I can't see them as much use except for them being a bit gimmicky, if you know what I'm saying. That's not to say I hate the idea, but in the state that Robocraft is in right now, with so little variations in game modes, maps, and building blocks, I can't see the hinge cube being of much help except for to maybe build a Tesla swinging vehicle and such. As for the self-destructing cubes, I am actually more supportive of this idea than the pivotal and hinge cubes because of how much more practical it is. Just imagine yourself hanging there with only a few hover blades left, but the best that you can do is be a cannon fodder because you are incapacitated. Now let's say if you were to lose some weights by detaching parts of your vehicle through some, say, self-destructing cubes, then maybe you would have a better chance of running towards a medic and getting help instead of just hovering there aimlessly. How I see it, I think Free Gem wants to make Robocraft a game where it strikes a balance between fast and slow gameplay. I see that incapacitation should still be in the game to an extent as a way to punish players who make robots easy to destabilize after a few critical hits. So what I propose is maybe a 5-second delay before those cubes self-destruct. That way players are still forced to build a vehicle that just doesn't rely on destructible cubes to steady themselves, but at the same time it will help those who cannot move at all because part of their vehicle is holding them back. There are other applicable parts to this cube, but I feel that the ability to destroy a part of your robot to counter incapacitation is most likely going to be the main use for this block. It will help to increase the pace of the match and therefore enhance the gameplay as well. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please remember to smack that like and subscribe button to support our channel. Until then guys, I will see all of you later. Have a good one.